Finally on. Yeah, I want to say a big I'm very sorry for that small interruption. The live stream was disrupted. I couldn't even explain what happened at that moment. I just quickly have to fix it. Just a second, let me just quickly fix the Facebook, and so we can have a no interruption. Yeah. Thank you very much. Please, if you are live, if you are on live, you are live on the YouTube, please, I would like you to just say hi, just to ask you to please take a moment and just share this link. Take a moment just now and just invite someone. Let's learn together. Yeah. If you are ready, I am ready. I'm excited to be with us today, and it gives me much pleasure and great delight to see us going so fast in this conversation, and for you to know that today is already day 14. Wow. This series, and oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, just a second, just a minute. Yeah, I want to show hello. Good afternoon, Facebook family. A very beautiful afternoon to us here on YouTube. And I want to say that it's a privilege to be here again, to be alive, and to be able to do what I am doing this afternoon. I have to sit myself down and ask myself, what is giving me this verb, energy, this passion, whatever name I can put to it, because it's not always the case when you are coming out live every day, regardless of how many views, how many likes, how many shares, or whatever the case is. But you are just so resolute that you've got to do this. You know why you are doing it. And the very reason why you are doing this, I'm so sorry, even though we are starting a little bit behind schedule, is the fact that there is a knowing inside of you, and there is a peace inside of you, a kind of knowing that gives you the peace that makes you know that you are not totally useless, and that you are not just living life only for yourself, and that you believe in this common community and this common small world that we have found ourselves, and that has a part, and that we have something to give to our world, and that regardless of how little you might think what you have is, there is somebody out there that is looking for what you have. And for me, this month I just decided that everything that I have gotten, that is to make the shift, that is giving me the nudge and the enlightenment and the knowledge and the progress that I'm witnessing, I am going to give it to everyone and anyone that so desire to have an understanding. And so I'm grateful for every one of us that is able to join. Without wasting more time, today is day 14, and the title of today's topic is self-deserving. Self-deserving. And I was just going to see, how can we be self-deserving? What are those things we can do with our life? Or what are those changes? What are those things we can begin to position our lives with, that will bring a better shift and a better us, a better understanding of who we are supposed to be? And I just always, just like the cases, I always like to give a small definition of what the subject we are teaching is, with regards to whatever the dictionary means. And I have it here on my um, note, that it's an adjective. Self-deserving is like an adjective, and it is qualified. It is a state of you being qualified for, or having a claim to a reward. Being qualified for, or having a claim to a reward, because of one's action, because of one's quality, because of one situation. So for those of you that are able to join, I'm grateful. And those of you that will watch this on a replay, I believe that your time spent here will not be in vain. So with what I've just said, I've been able to explain to us that even the dictionary meaning to self-deserving shows us that it is you being qualified for having something. And so when you look at us human needs in world, in nature, in everything, we always know that we always have a desire to have, a desire to be fulfilled, and to just be welcome, to be respected, to be loved. We always want that. That need is always in our life. We always want to be respected, we want to be loved, and we always want to see a place whereby all our needs are being met. But as good as all these desires and all this love, all these wants and needs are, there is one thing that I want you to know about life. That everything you and I want out of life, everything we have desired, that, oh, when you look at your career, relationship, finance, family, health, everything you can ever desire in your life, it is all that side of what we don't love, what we don't want to do. That is the irony of what I'm explaining to us today. That every time you desire something, what is stopping you from getting to that desire is always those things that are unwilling, that you are reluctant to do. And that is, thank you, Adedeji. Thank you, Mrs. Olobayo. Thank you very much. And what I want us to understand with this topic is like, life is never designed to give you what you need, everything you want. Life is not designed to give you everything. It is designed to give you only what you deserve. That is the subject of deserve. That is, every time you go through life, every of those needs you have met, maybe you desire to ride the best car, the best model of what is in best car, all this Lamborghini and Ferrari and all those big names that we have down there. If that is your desire, or your desire is to have a choice building, choice estate in one of the one of the greatest and most peaceful and coolest beach or island in the world, in the best place in the world, every of those desire, they will never come to you and I and to me until we are willing to deserve it. So if that is the case, what are those things that you and I need to do to make our world, to make life deserving, to make everything that we set out to do, that we love to have? I want you to imagine when you are young, when you are little, and when they ask you what do you want to become, or when they ask you what you love, or anytime they ask what do you want to be, that is what you are going to mention. That is the truth. That every of those things you mentioned at those times, if you look at yourself today and you are not seeing any of those traits around you, the question you are now asked is that the moral law of the world, the moral law of life is that you will never receive, you will never get anything out of life when you don't go and seek and deserve it. If for some of us that believe in the Almighty, and you have one time or the other read in the book of God, there is a saying that says you will never receive until you go out to ask. Nothing will ever never come to you by says I just relax and by chance, nature, and somebody will just bring it. If you have not gone out there to go and knock, to go and search, to go and seek for it, that is one of the things that we are oblivious, or sometimes we subconsciously, we just believe that it is not necessary, that you just need something, you want something, just keep desiring it, just keep hoping for it. One day, one how, somebody somewhere. Friends, it is time to wake up. I want you to tap yourself and give yourself a pat on your arm and say, Adiola, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. It's time to wake up and smell reality. It is time to wake up and tell ourselves the humble truth. It is time to wake up and not begin to believe that I can get anything I want without deserving it. If that is the case, then everybody in this world will be successful. Everybody in this world, we will never have anybody that is poor. We never have anybody that is hungry. We never have anybody that is begging. But I want us to begin to see what are the process that you and I need to begin to deserve it. Can you just imagine now? Let me say this example. I want a good relationship. And you and I know that nobody will ever get a good relationship without you spending time to build it. I want to just imagine like I'm looking at myself now, and now I'm asking, oh, I want $100. I want $100 as I'm sitting like this. what you are asking the universe will never go and get it for you. Why? The right question you're supposed to be asking is, how can I deserve, how can I get $100? What will I do that will make the universe to bring a force of attraction of me getting $100? That is the right question to ask. And so sometimes many of us, we just keep making requests and asking certain questions or certain things which will never come to interpretation, never come to life. I want to succeed in life. I want to be rich. I want to be healthy. I want to be a millionaire. The right question is, how can I deserve $100? What will I do? What is that thing that will attract somebody that will come and bring me? And for you and I, we know that when you are not planting any seed, what seed are you bringing? What seed am I planting that will make me to wake up and deserve and earn and reap $100? That is one of the things that is missing in some of our outlook in life. And when sometimes when we desire something, when you take your seed to the marketplace, you are bound to receive an harvest. When you take what you have to the marketplace, somebody somewhere is going to be bound to pay for it. And I remember in one of these series that I said that I did, and I was making mention of the fact that whether you are an atheist, whether you believe in God, whether you don't believe in God, whether you pray, whether you don't pray, if you take time to sow just two small tiny seed of a corn, you are going to harvest a big harvest of maize. And it is a question of what you do. It is a question of what you and I do. So what we need to be doing and telling ourselves is, what are the actions? What are those things that you and I need to be doing that will make us be deserving of everything you and I want in life? I used to remember sometimes when I talk about this relationship I just mentioned. See, there was a time that anytime my parents send me on errand, and I see some people, especially families, that their parents, their mom and dad, they are living together. Sometimes, and maybe it's like a Sunday and they are getting ready to go to church, and I will stay and I will be looking at them. I will be looking and watching those families as if I was not sent on errand to do anything. Do you know what I was? I would just be admiring them. And that's as little I was that time. I remember telling myself that I am not going to allow anything to happen to me that will make me not to have my children and I living together. Because at that time I remember I was not living with my biological father then, even though I was living in a home, but I still feel like there is a gap. I was not experiencing that level of belongingness. So I will look and look and look at those family, and until they drive off, something like that. And that was a desire that I have, that when I grow up, and my family, my children, we must be staying together. So the thing reason why I said so I desire a family, I desire a relationship, I desire a marriage that really will be full of love, caring, and everything that marriage is supposed to be. And I know that thing is not going to just happen. The same thing with you. Every one of us in the whole world, the world is interested in what we are able to give, and not only in what we just desire. So the interest that the marketplace wants out of us is our ethic, our action, is our vibe, our ability to work, is our discipline. Those are the things that will make us to attract what we said we don't want. We cannot just be saying, I need this thing. It is not sufficient. We must pour ourselves into that space of action to be able to deserve the future we desire. And until we are able to get into that place of action, to be able to constantly deserve the future we desire, we will only be mentioning rhetorics. We will only just be saying, oh, it will happen one day. No, by I just know one day, like one song, one day it go better. But that song, as smooth as neat, and as all the rhythms that follows the song is, it is not going to happen. Life only emerge when you begin the process of deserving. And the only thing that you and I need to know is to get ourselves away from everything that makes us feel like we are not deserving. Like I just mentioned that example I said about. So can you imagine you want to be a rich person, and every time, maybe once in a while, you drive yourself to an apartment, to an area where live personality they stay, and you just look around. You just look around them, and you look at them. You look at every one of their houses. You look at the island. You look at the pool. You see all the big cars parked around them. You know what that thing does for you? When you get back home, you will not be able to sleep the way you have been sleeping. If you understand what I'm trying to say? If you get back home, that experience, that picture you have seen is going to spoil you. It's going to push you that you know that, man, I cannot just sit down and be looking. I have to do something. If this is what I want, no, I cannot just sit down and wake up in this same thing. Why? Your pain, the pain of you looking at where you are with just your small bed in that your small corner, and you are seeing other people that they have varieties. That pain will move you into action. That is why I'm telling you, no one can push you into that desire until you yourself know that this thing is important for you. And that is why I want to explain to us, sometimes when we talk about the subject of procrastination, that you lack the vibe, you lack the inspiration or the move, the energy, the in motion, to be in motion, to do what you love. Do you know what is missing? What is missing is you lack clarity to what you actually want. If you know what you actually want, and you are deeply ready to go for it at any cost, do you know that there will not be any form of procrastination? Why? Let me give you these three scenarios. Whenever there is a pain in your life and there is a reward, can you imagine if they tell you that if you are able to run, if there is a pain or hunger in you at the moment, and you are being promised that if you are able to run this 100-meter dash and you come first, you are going to get, I don't even know, you are going to get this small thing, this small teddy bear. If you consider the result, the outcome of what you are going to get as a result of going through that exercise, if you consider the result so low, you are not going to do it. You say, okay, when you are ready, they should call you. You will not do it. Why? You have a pain, which is a hunger, but the outcome they are going to give you is not commensurate. It's too low. You will not do it. So when you see yourself procrastinating, that is the first scenario. The second scenario, when you have a pain and the outcome that you are being promised, it's so high that you are going to throw yourself out of your comfort zone to go and run after it. Are you seeing the picture? So you will now see when they tell you, okay, you are hungry, you need a home, you need this thing. If you can run this just for 1 hour, you are going to get this choice house. You will see how that motivation, wow, that result is going to filter in you an energy and a momentum that is going to make you to run to get that task done. So there is no way anybody can treat the subject of procrastination and laziness for you until yourself first and foremost sit down and consider what is it that is absent in your life. What is the gap? What is the need that you are urgently desiring out of your life that means so much, that is going to make the total freedom, the real meaning and essence of life for you? When you are clear about that need, no one has the answer but you. You are the one that will get yourself out of. Some people say, I'm reading a book, I'm reading about it, I'm talking about, those ones will not matter. You will be the one that will set yourself out and go and get it done. And so every time you are procrastinating, I want you to know the reason, your why. When you know your why, that I don't want to sit in a job where I'm being commanded, where I'm being told what to do every time. I don't want to remain in a kind of life where I don't have a choice. I don't want to continue living a life where I don't have the freedom to live life on my own terms, where I cannot decide I want to take off for more than 2 weeks, where I cannot decide when I wake up, when I sleep, where I cannot decide who help me take care of my children, because I have to go and answer to somebody who is paying my bills. So if you know the pain that thing is costing you in life, and you know the joy and the passion and the commitment you want to have for your children and for your family, or for whatever that passion is, I tell you, your life will begin to emerge at that point. You are ready to be deserving of that future you want. And that future you want is available. Everything you want on the other side of where you are now, it's available. Why? Some people are already having it. Some people are living that life. Some people already have. So it is high time you stop putting things off. And when the time you put things off is because that thing, you have not been able to merge the pain with that process and that outcome you want. Once you are able to come to terms where everything is in the same pedestal, and that is the third level, when the pain equals the action, the result is just not far from fetch. It's not far from fetch. You will have it. So it is high time we begin to spur ourselves on and begin to encourage ourselves and begin to tell ourselves the home truth that life is hard at times. That if you remember how you want to be remembered out of life, if you know the end, you consider the end, and you know that life is short and you will not always have all the time. I was reading a book and it was talking about this scenario mentioned by this guy. And he was talking about the fact that when we consider the subject of time is short or life is short, it is because we have not spent our time doing the most important thing. And whenever we wake up out of our laziness, we now say time is gone. But in actual fact, when we are able to come to the realization of taking the discipline to do what is important, because we know those discipline is going to produce the life we want, the desire we have always been looking forward to. When you are disciplined to go through the process by taking action, the life you are deserving, that money you want, that person you want to become, that children you want to raise, that family and that home you have always been looking for, it is just as easy as that, and nothing is going to stop you. You are the one that will go ahead and get it because it is available. It is available. It is available. And that is why one of those triggers that bring change to man, it is most of the time when life happens to us and certain events in our life bring about a change and a cause in our part. And when those things happen, we are left with no other decision but to change. And some of those times, it is when the change is needed the most, and you will see how we go out of our way to give everything we want just to bring about that change. Like how COVID has forced every one of us and to change the way we do business, the way we relate, the way we converse. Everything changed because of that life happening. And the second aspect of change, which is when you sit yourself down and you just applied yourself to this force of discipline, and naturally you just emerge and you see change. And whichever way that you desire to bring about your change, I just want to be there to encourage you that, friends, it is worth the time. That life is in this short, and that you cannot afford wasting it on living the life you don't want. If you want to be more, do more, have more, I want to encourage you that it is possible. The life you are waiting for, the life you want, that desire, it is realistic. You can have it. And that it only starts by you putting the right question in front of you. Why will you be deserving that life you want? What step and what action are you going to be taking? Because you have already known that just needing it will not bring it to your doorstep. Just needing it, feeling you need it, is not going to make it happen. Friends, this is where I'm going to be stopping. I don't know if you have any question. I've always been willing to give answers and to always answer any question we want you have with regards to any of the training or any of the teaching we've had. If you have any question, feel free to ask and feel free to post it, and I will be willing to answer it. And so for every one of you that was able to join, I'm so grateful, and I'm glad that you are able to join me today in this broadcast. I appreciate your time. I'm never going to take it for granted. Don't ever forget that whenever you reap where you did not plant, that is calm. But reaping is reserved for everyone that is planting. Every planters, they will become reapers. It's a question of time. So what action are you going to start putting in place today that is going to make you to begin to reap that future you want to see? That is the work that you and I need to start doing now. And I encourage you, get up, start, wake up daily and make time for what you love. Prioritize. Begin yourself on that process that that I described, digital dieting. Start that process. Start to diet your number of hours you engage on the social media, especially if you are not contributing, and begin to see how you can save those small hours just to make little habit of doing more of what you want in your day-to-day activity. And before you know it, you are going to see a massive and drastic change in your life. Thank you everybody for watching. Tomorrow is another day, and the topic on our self-love September for tomorrow, day 15, is self-organization. Self-organization. And we are going to be talking about and not taking this forward on how you can begin to organize your day-to-day action, your habit, your thought pattern, your lifestyle, your way of life in such a way that is going to bring about the real you that you have desired. And I tell you, it is possible. I am experiencing a change, a shift, both in my thinking, in my understanding about what life is, and about everything that I'm supposed to be doing to really deserve what I want. And I encourage you on the journey. So please join me tomorrow. And also to please give this video a like and share it and leave a comment. Share this link with somebody that you know this video is going to help. And I will be so grateful and glad you did. And so I'm grateful for joining. Thank you so much. Until I see you tomorrow, don't give up on yourself and go and make that design. Go and design your life according to what future you want to see. I love you. Bye from here.